What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Mission Fishing Live. My name is Muto. Thank you for joining. Man, it feels like I've been here forever. It's only been, what, 1 week? Took a week off, but it feels like freaking forever. I don't know why. Maybe too much fishing. What's going on? Big yak fish, big water yak fishing. Welcome, man. Good to see you in here. I see you on Discord everywhere. Eric, the Judge Lehman, what's going on, dude? Welcome. Glad you can make it. Finally got away from that hectic work schedule. I see new business owner there. Congratulations again, Eric. Type in the name of your company if you want. If you guys need a good mechanic, hit up Eric Lehman. He's the man. Leonard Oos, what's going on? Brian likes to fish. What are you doing in here? Shouldn't you be making cool baits? Glad you could join, man. Glad you could see it live. Good stuff. Down in SD. Oos, welcome, dude. Jessica, welcome. Where are you? Oh, you're right next to me. There she is. Yeah, for those of you that are watching the replay or watching live, don't know who we are, Submission Fishing. My name is Mewtwo. I do the show. Basically, I just started making YouTube videos a couple months ago. Started a fishing company, selling products, came up with the fish frosting, like the fishing scent. I got some other stuff in the works, some lures and stuff like that. So that's who we are, just kind of new to the game, getting our feet off the ground. And ultimately, we're all just trying to get our black belt in fishing. And that's the ultimate goal, trying to get us all bit, trying to learn together, have resources, live stuff like this, videos, products, whatever it is. It's just being part of a good community and getting out some fish. That's ultimately the goal, getting that black belt, baby. Jesse, what's going on? Ooh, Salty. Man, Salty, feel like I haven't seen you forever. Eric get 5 out of 5 max as a car mechanic. There you go. He's got the Spotty Bull Champion endorsement, so you guys can't go wrong. If Brian says it is 5-star, it's 5-star. I'm gonna have to get up there just so you can work on something. Maybe I'll go break a transmission or something. That might be too expensive. Yeah, but anyways, so I took last week off. Last Thursday, I went offshore down to the Coronado Islands, and then that Saturday went to La Jolla, did some rock fishing, pretty deep, and then this week it was, or no, when did I go to maybe the bait barge was the day before. I don't even remember what day it is. And then Tuesday, somebody gave me a call and they were like, buddy Fernando hit me up and he's like, hey man, I got a trip. It's a free ticket. So you want to go out? So then that night I packed up. Wednesday, I went out. No, Tuesday. I don't even know what day it is. Tuesday, I went out offshore again. So I think he texted me Monday. Like within a couple hours notice, I went to bed, woke up, went on that boat. And then at some point in there, I went to the bait barge too. And I don't even know. Too much fishing, but that's why I haven't been able to be around. So, right, it's a bad case when you're fishing too much. You can't do the show. But yeah, it was good stuff. How many lures did you lose in your last video? Oh, dude. Yeah, I just posted a new video, guys. That's what Jesse's talking about. Right before I came on, like 5:30. It was pretty bad. Every time I go to the bait barge, it's like it's Lost Lure City, at least with those slow pitch jigs. But what was interesting was I didn't lose the lures like on the bottom. That's usually what happens. They get stuck. Although I've kind of know where not to send them these days, near like the power lines and like the sewer system that got under there. There's certain points where I know I've lost so many jigs I don't throw them, but still I was losing them mostly to bites. I got torn off on the braid at one point, a couple clean breaks. So, man, there's some huge fish though. They were just tearing that thing up. Eric had to hire a plumber because they didn't want to come up. Yeah, it's a long ways, man. Hopefully you found a good one. TV Metal Art. Oos, what's going on, man? Welcome. Those of you guys see Oos, people typing that in means they like the show. So if you like the show, I appreciate that a lot. Helps out with the algorithm and stuff. Lets people know that it's happening, pushes it out. So good stuff, man. I appreciate that, guys. What's up with the flatties this year? Lots of just shorts, no keepers. Is it this year just me? I've got two legal halibuts this year. I got a huge one at the early, I think it was January. We all went out on like a group thing, and I got that beast. It was like 32 inches or something like that. And then I think again in February I got another legal. It was like 22 inches, both at the docks. So I don't know if that tells you anything. Aside from that, I haven't, Tim, I haven't fished for halibut really this year. I got those two where I was just both on a rig, trolling the a rig around with curly tail grubs on the back. But aside from that, we did spotty bull. So like I really, and now later in the season and later in summer, I've been fishing mostly like offshore and La Jolla, stuff like that. Um, so I haven't had really that much time to go out and look for halibut, to be honest with you. So I don't know if they're shorts or not. It's been a really, really weird kind of fishing thing. So yeah, we went and get back to some of my story like offshore. So we went Thursday to the Coronado Islands. For those who need a passport, and for those of you that don't know, if you're within 12 miles of Mexico, you need a passport. If you're 12 miles further, no passport. But if you fish at the islands, I was on a charter boat. We just had to bring the passport. And they get the Mexican fishing license. But then there's other parts of the island, like North Island stuff, where you need like biosphere bracelets or something to fish certain types of fish. So if you're going out there by yourself, you really got to know, um, what you're doing as far as like having the right stuff. If you're on a private boat, you got to have, I think you're like a pass for the private boat. You might need a bracelet based on which island you're fishing, a passport if you're too close to the islands, Mexican fishing license, even if you're not near the islands, if you're going to go offshore. That's probably the easiest. And then you just need the Mexican fishing license. So you definitely got to know your stuff. Went to the Coronado Islands first time this year, and it was just like it wasn't bad, but no yellowtail, nothing like that was out there. We got some bonito. We went really close to the islands, which is pretty shallow, like 30 feet. And I was able to slow pitch some bonito. It was pretty cool. The bite was pretty wide open for a while there. And unfortunately, I lost my Sea Falcon jig because they didn't have like the gaff out. They were like, oh, just bounce them. And I was like, oh, I can't really bounce it. But I got one on the jig, and like I tried reaching over the boat and like I wrapped it around my hand, big ass bonito. And like I went to yank it up, and it just wasn't far enough, and it hit the deck, and I heard like that noise, where it sounded like the braid snap. Fish went overboard. My jig went over. It was pretty terrible. And then I just put on like a blue and white stripe jig para, and I was slaying them on that too. So that seemed to work, pretty good as well. I mean, once the bite was on, it was on. But then after that, I just called for the gaff. I'm like, dude, I don't care if it's bonito or not, but I can't bounce them with this thing. That is the downside to the slow pitch rod. You got to have a gaff or a way to get them up. There's no way you're bouncing those things. I tried. That'll be in my next video. I got a lot of good footage, and I caught the epic failure on film. It was pretty sad. Yeah, after the islands, nothing really picked up, and then we went out rock fishing on the same trip. So we went further south in Mexico, got on some reds, got like some tiger rockfish. We didn't go too deep, maybe 200 feet or so. So it wasn't too, it wasn't too deep. We got on rockfish. Pretty much everybody got a bag, which was cool. They just wanted everybody to get some fish in there. Then we went back up north to the islands, and then I looked for them again, just couldn't find them. The second time around, we couldn't even find the bonito. And then that Saturday, I went to La Jolla, and instead of going, straight out or south like we usually do, we went. Mark G was with us. Lucky was with us. We went north. Oscar was there, and then a lot of them peeled off. Like I just kept going north, and I was on the edge of the MPA, that blue MPA, and I went into the canyon. And I know you guys seen some of the videos on Instagram, but I was straight up slow pitch jigging like 450 feet deep, and I was getting fat rockfish, like huge reds. It was a cool experience, man. Letting that thing drop, and it took like, it's like a minute long drop just to get your lure there, sometimes longer, and then just working it off the bottom, hitting it 400 feet. That's where that braid really comes in. Just a small leader, so you don't get too much shock. And yeah, that was fun. I mean, we was landing them like crazy. And then I moved. It was weird. So I was done. I was fishing about like 450 feet or so, and then I started moving back south a little bit, and I found this. Like I saw this blip on my fish finder. This was only about 175 feet or so. So I turned back around. It wasn't big. It looked like a little tiny rock pile. It showed up real quick, then it disappeared, and I went back and forth a few times and found that area. I marked it, and it was just like this little tiny spot. Dude, I pulled like every drop. I mean, I straight up pulled up like 15 fish, I think, out of this thing. Huge redfish, big sand bass. So I don't know. Obviously, it was a secret spot, or nobody's found this thing yet. And it was just a tiny rock pile. So I'd hit it, and I'd drift back, and I went back. I hit it again. It was like every time I went down, same thing. So I lowered my jigs. I was using a 250 gram big long knife jig when I was deep, and then I switched up to like 150 gram for like the 175 foot depth, and one of those real long ones, just crushing them, man. It was like every single drop. And then I took, I found Lucky, and then I think he was having a rough time. So I went and I took him to the spot, and I was like, dude, don't tell anybody about this spot. I gave him the coordinates, and I told him, just drop it. And he said he had a lure, like a knife jig. I was like, throw that thing on. And he put his long jig on. He's like, oh, I've never fished these before. He was just fishing live bait. I was like, yeah, just throw it down and pop up. He threw it down, like one bounce, just completely vendo, man. And he was like, it was crazy. And then the second drop, same thing. And then I left him there. I was like, all right, man, have fun. Don't outfish my new spot here. And then went in and got some calicos, slayed those on little slow pitch jigs too. So that was fun. Just call it a day. It was cool because I wasn't out there looking for the yellowtail. I mean, they weren't really around. But we went north. So normally, when you keep going west, that's usually where I go, even for rockfish. Like I keep going west, and I can find the rockfish out there, but those things are just like the little dinkers, man. I went out there, I think earlier in the year with Oscar, and we were just like little 8-inch fish, little tiny, sometimes even smaller, and you get a lot of them, but there was just nothing worth keeping. But I got 5 vermilion, so I hit my limit on those, and then I think I got some browns. I kept a whole bag. I mean, I hit my limit for sure. Big fish though. I mean, I don't think I got anything under like 12, 14 inches for rockfish. I mean, they were a good size. So yeah, I definitely found them there, and then just came in, did a little calico fishing on the way back, and then so Monday, yeah, and I was like so far behind asleep that Monday I'm recovering, and Fernando hits me up, in a text, and he's like, dude, I got an open spot, not gonna cost you anything. We're going down to Mexico again, another offshore. And then I was like, man, I'll be there. So we went out Tuesday, and that was a rough trip. Let me catch up here on you guys. Tim said, what's up? Cave Dog, what's going on? Cal, welcome. Oos, Steel Tech 760. I'm here now, dude. Welcome. Glad you're here. Worf, what's going on? There's a lot of fish up north that didn't get fished out. Yeah, dude, it must not be, because everything I caught up there, Coach, was just monster. And it's funny because everybody just goes, keep going west or they go south, but I went up north, man, and slayed those things. But yeah, so then the next day we went out to, this one was offshore, so we didn't need a passport. Went down to Mexico again, but I mean, it was a free trip, which was cool, but it was a rough trip, guys. And it was freaking harsh. It was just one of those like weird trips from start to finish. For one thing, the boat we were on, it just like, it didn't have any like, what's the word I'm looking for? It had like no right to be out that deep. We went like a 4.5 hour ride south, just above like Ensenada. So the day before they'd hit, and this would have been like all year. Anybody that's been offshore fishing knows this year has just been so freaking back and forth, where the bite's on and the bite's off. The night before, the very same boat we were on caught like 50 bluefin or something like that. The bite was on, or not bluefin, I'm sorry, yellowfin tuna. We're like, oh, dude, the bite's on, it's back, they're here. Bombed all the way down there, like 4.5 hour ride. So this boat has no bunks. It has barely had any seating inside. I mean, you're just standing up for 4.5 hours. There's really nowhere to sit. People are like laying down on the thing. So we get down there, and the captain's like, oh yeah, I know it was a long ride. We're finally here. So then he starts looking for the fish. He's like, oh, so we're gonna look for the fish now. So 4.5 hours in, right? An hour goes by, 2 hours go by, nothing. Nobody's even got we're probably 6.5 hours into this trip. Nobody's even had a line in the water yet. I mean, it was, and then he's just like, oh, there's no fish here. And we're like, oh, dude. So then we leave the area and we start making our way back north again, come up to the islands, and then just like the rest of the year. It was just nothing either. We found, came up back north near the islands, but west of the islands, so we were still offshore. We found some bluefin. So bluefin are still out there. Bluefin are still here. It was the only thing that was there, but I think our boat caught 3, out of the 30 something people that were there. We legit only fished like maybe an hour, hour and a half. We'd get on a school of bluefin. You'd see a boil real quick, and then gone. They would disappear. And kind of the crappy thing about bluefin is one person would hook up, right? So we got one bluefin on the boat, right? But then the school leaves. The school is gone. So this is big bluefin. Yeah, they're probably like 40 pounds or so, but still they're taking sometimes 20 minutes, 30 minutes to bring in. So now everybody just waits. Everybody's waiting for this one person to bring in the bluefin, and now the bluefin school is like a mile and a half up the way. So then we get the bluefin on the boat. It was pretty cool. We got one, and then now you're in a slow ass boat. And you're in a mile and a half up. You find the school again. Boom, one person hooks up. The school's gone, and now it's like, now you're waiting for the one person to bring in the blue. They just didn't stick around. It's just rough. It's been like that all year. There's no rhyme or reason for it. Just the finicky bluefin. Sometimes when they want to eat, but not on this trip. It was the same thing I did. Was it August when I went out too? The day before we went on the Malahini, it was like, oh, they caught 30 yellowfin, and then they lost 50 because the crew was not experienced. We're like, all right, this is it. This is our chance. And then you get out there and we got two ahi the whole boat. It's just no consistency this year. I think that's been the hardest thing offshore. I mean, for me, has just been there's no length of time. There was a little bit, I feel like, kind of like late June, early July, where the bluefin bite was like really good, but outside of that, it's been like one day it's been great, next day 0. Then it's just like it shuts off for a week. Then there's one day where it blows up, and then those bluefin been spitting in my face all year, man. I can't tell you how many times I've been in the bluefin. I've been in so many boils this year. I've literally sunk a lure inside of a bluefin boil like 15 times on different boats and have not gotten a bite. And the whole boat just doesn't get a bite. They boil up, they don't eat anything, and then they just leave. It's like, oh my gosh. I'm so tired of blue. If I catch a bluefin, I'm gonna punch it right in the face. And make sure it's alive too, just to get some payback. Maybe an elbow drop. Now I really want a bluefin, right? I want that revenge. They've just been mocking me. Got a boil on my kayak, nothing. Boils on boats, nothing. It's heartbreaking, man. Disappointing. Aaron Kruger, what's going on, dude? DFA in the house. Welcome, man. Let's see what else. Yeah, Brian, you got to go out there and get your bluefin. Good luck, man. Get up that gas tank. Yeah, I mean, on the plus side, I will have my boat should be done in November. That's what they're telling me. So they're building it. I finalize all the electronics, put my final down payment on it. But we'll see. It was supposed to be October, right? And then they're like, oh, it should be in November. It's like anything. Everybody's behind making products and stuff like that. But we'll see. Hopefully November, I'll have the boat and they don't want to have to worry about it. I think one of the bigger problems is just those big boats. They take so long to get out there. I mean, I can get out to the islands in the boat I'm getting in, an hour way down there, hour and a half to 2 hours, where it takes 4 to 6 hours to get somewhere. And then chasing the tuna is really advantage. That's where you get the advantage of seeing the schools. And like this big boat, they saw the schools, they were tracking them. They did a good job. But by the time you get there, we're going in this big party boat and you're seeing the private boats boom, burning past us. They see them too. They're watching the boils, and then they're able to get on them before, and then the school leaves again. So that is awesome. Brian, I'm getting the Arima Yellowtail Sea Chaser 19. So it's not a huge boat, but it's a pilot house boat. But yeah, just wait on it. They got it decked out. I got it with the biggest motor it comes with. I got a bait tank installed. The rod holders up top. I got the hydraulic steering, trim tabs on the back. I mean, it's pretty badass. It's pretty deep V, and it's a pilot house, so it's made to be offshore. They build them up in like the Oregon, Washington area. They're Northwest boats, so they're made for like inclement weather. Um, so it takes the splashing and the beating, and that's kind of what it's for. Basically, it's a pilot house with the 2 seats. I got a little cuddy seat in the back, but then it's got the front, with the pads. It's got a little toilet like in the front, and then the pads you can lay down. That part's kind of small, and then the whole back end is just fishing area. Then it's just a big fishing deck in the back. It's a fishing boat through and through. I mean, it's not made for really anything else. So, yeah, dude, we'll have to go out. I think that'll be awesome. I really don't know anything about driving a boat. That's the only thing. I got to take some classes. I got my boater card. I've been on plenty of boats. I mean, I've driven them, but not like, I don't really know. I took a test drive on it before I bought it. The guy took me on. I got to drive it and stuff, but I'm gonna have to go out there late at night, when there's like nobody around, so I don't embarrass myself at the docks. Like, look at this guy, get out of the way. I'm definitely just gonna go practice by myself. Or have Dario. I think Dario. I was trying to get Corey's Dario to get out there, show me the ropes, show me how it works. And getting like a Simrad electronics and stuff like that. So I think it'll be pretty badass. I'm excited. No more party boats. Get out there and get on my own. Cass Queen, what's going on? Welcome. Good to see you. Always slaying it, man. You crushed it out. You're crushing it offshore. I need your secrets. Every time I go out there, it's just freaking Skunkville on these boats. What's interesting is one thing we noticed is whenever it's slow, there's always one person that catches like multiple fish. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. When I went on a bluefin trip earlier this year, it was like 2 guys that caught the fish, and they each caught like 3 fish. And then when I went out on my trip that I chartered, I was the only one that caught yellowfin tuna, and I caught 2. The last trip I went on, I think there was 3 bluefin caught, and there were by one guy hooked up, I think 2 or 3 fish. So it's like, it's so weird. It's super slow, but one person catches all the fish whenever the bites, whenever it's limited bite. I don't know what that is, or I don't know if it's a fisherman thing or what. Yeah, man, you're crushing it. Mothership trip on Widow's boat straight to the. Yeah, man, I'll take you guys out. I don't know if they'll fit. It's not like a super big boat. It's pretty small. I'll tow you guys around. It's got a lot of fishing space, though. Yeah, I'm excited. I want to get one of those trolling motors up front, like the Minn Kotas, like Brian has basically. So you don't need to anchor. You just spot lock into place, and then you just hit it, put it over the bow, and then you can fish. And it'll just hold where it's at. First cast out, gets bit first. Yeah, Cal, these ones were like, I think the deeper fish, because they'd come up, nobody would get bit, and they would go back down quick. These are the bluefin last weekend. They were up. I don't know if anybody caught. Yeah, I think somebody caught one on a fly line, but the other ones were sinker rig. And my buddy who hooked me up on the boat, who took me, he's the one that caught 2. He's a badass fisherman. Fernando, he's on here too sometimes. I don't see him, but
I think he was here.
And just before we were talking, we were like, "Oh, dude, let's go." We were like, "Let's go sinker rig." I was like, I was just gonna slow. I just wanted to slow pitch a tuna, so I wasn't working bait anyways. And sure enough, he put that sinker rig on. Bam, slammed a fatty. So it was awesome. His wife, and it was him and his wife. His wife crushed one too. I mean, she's tiny, man, and she got the biggest fish. She won the jackpot, dude. This thing was big old 40-pound bluefin. It was pretty awesome. Good stuff. You got the first bite on Monday's trip. Not the first cast, but maybe the 5th. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's Fernando. Steel Tech. My man. Sorry, I need to change my screen name. Yeah, I get confused with who's who.
Well, she said nice things about him.
Yeah, at least I wasn't trashing Fernando for taking me on that god-awful trip. I just messed with you. I fished long enough, dude. I still have a good time even when I'm out on the water. I know fishing. It's not catching. Yeah, sometimes like the first bite, it's like yeah, don't hype up your wife. You just let her go to her head. She beat our asses, dude. Well, not you. I mean, you got one. You still got one, but I think you guys have got like the only fish on the boat. Dude, it was crazy. Freaking crazy. Yeah, sometimes the first bite, Cal, like, it's weird because for some reason, like the boat we were on, like it didn't stop. This dude like didn't. He'd come up on him, and he'd be like, "All right, guys, throw your baits," and everybody would throw out a live bait or a sinker, and instantly they just went over the boat, and everybody it was like Tangle City. Most of the people there were decent fishermen, so they knew. But like, I put mine down, and it drifted instantly, and I would just reel my jig back up. I'm like, this is bad news. And then I don't know what, but it's just like it took forever for this thing to stop. I don't know if the boat didn't have reverse or something, but he would like coast on and be like, all right, throw it in, and then just like he'd come off the gas, but the boat would just like keep going past the thing. I'm like, I don't know. And the crazy thing is, I think we were the only boat in the area that caught. The San Diego skunked. There was like 3 other boats, and they all went to the same place, so they all had like that 6-hour trip, and then they all came back. They all skunked. Apparently, our boat did the best with like those 3 bluefin, like crushed every other boat out there, which is freaking crazy because they all went to the spot where everybody limited on yellowfin the day before. Maybe it was the full moon. Who knows? So there you go. Right? It was a full moon the night before. Maybe they just feasted out and then they weren't hungry the next day. The world may never know. Malahini full day, 5 bluefin tuna, 1 yellowfin tuna. They lost a lot of fish today, the skipper said. Yeah. Did you go out there, or did you just talk to Bill on the? So I chartered the Malahini earlier this year.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, we had a pretty rough day, but the day before they crushed it. Like I said, we were looking for yellowfin, 5 bluefin. Yeah, that's rough. If you catch one, it's awesome, right? If you're like one of those, because like the trip I went out on the Malahini, I caught 2 yellowfin, so I was like hyped, dude. I was like, dude, it was a great day, but nobody else caught any yellowfin.
One guy got a mahi.
One guy got a dorado on that boat, but still, it's like it's rough. You know, you hate when you catch and then nobody else does because everybody likes to go out there and slay it. Oh, you caught the landing, nice. Let's see what we got here. Zach Riggs, welcome, dude. Good to see you. I see you're Roman's partner now. That's cool, dude. You don't want to be my partner? I understand. I won't take it personally. Just messing with you. Oh yeah, I need to go in to see a Cast Queen at Dana Land. They hooked me up with the new Sea Falcon, and that's heartbreaking.
I didn't even get to use it.
Doug and Roger, welcome, guys. Trying to catch up on everybody. Yeah, Jessica's mad because she didn't even get to use the jig.
It was so expensive.
I lost it, and I had no reason losing that thing. That's what pisses me off. Is I should have never tried to bounce the fish. Like, I know better. You're like, you can't bounce it on a slow pitch rod. I didn't try to lift the rod, but I tried to like reach the line, and I deserve what I get, I guess. Freaking heartbreaking. Yeah, so those of you guys that don't know, oh yeah, well, I guess I should say this. I did get a sand bass at the bait barge before we went out. And prior to that, the 6-hour trip, that was like, I think I had like, me and one other guy caught a fish at the bait barge. We were the only ones that caught fish. But what do you guys think? Does that it still seems like a skunk, even though I did catch a fish? Is it not a skunk? What do you guys consider a skunk? I'm curious about this. Say you go out kayak fishing, and if all you caught was a mackerel, do you count that as a fish, or do you count that as being skunked? Or if you catch like a lizard fish or something small, do you still count that as a fish, or is there like, do you guys have like a size limit or a certain fish that you don't count the skunk? Because a sand bass any other day, you're like, oh, no way, that's definitely not a skunk. But when you're going out for like tuna, I mean, what do you guys think? Not a skunk? So you think any fish? Yeah, no skunk. Everybody's saying no skunk. That seems to be the consensus. Because I've done that. I totally forgot. I was like, oh yeah, I skunked out, but technically, I don't think I did. I caught a fat ass sand bass at the bait barge before we went out.
Catch a mac at the bait barge.
Yeah, if you catch a mac at the bait, right? So if you catch a mac at the bait barge, like no skunk. So if you guys don't want a skunk, just bring a sabiki. Dump that thing in. I guarantee you'll catch something. Fish is a fish, no skunk. So you guys are all on the same page. That's good. You know what? We don't minimize fish based on their value. We treat all fish equal here. If you're a mackerel, you count as a fish. Lizard fish, you count as a fish. We don't belittle fish based on their status in the sea. You heard it here first. Any fish, no skunk. Everybody says it counts. I like that, guys.
It's healthy. I pull up algae and I consider it.
I feel like there's a lot of people in here that have only got out and caught a mackerel. I'm with you guys. I feel your pain. If I catch him back at the bait barge, no skunk all day. That's right, Cal. As long as it's not a bait fish. Oh, see? So Cass Queen, she's laying down the law now. But what's a bait? So if it's an anchovy, sardine, doesn't count it. But isn't mackerel technically a bait fish? I mean, that's what we use them for. I guess there are people that eat them. I pull up algae and consider it a no skunk. They're no salty. We're gonna have to go to the judge on that one. I'm gonna have to ask Eric.
$6 a pound for max at the market.
Is it really $6 a pound for mackerel? Damn, dude, I'm gonna start keeping them. Those mackerel are huge right now. I will tell you that. They're a good fight. I was catching some of the bait bars that were like 12 inches long, and they were fighting harder than some of the freaking calico bass. Yeah, mackerel aren't just bait. I agree. Some people eat mackerel. I had it once. I wasn't really a fan. And I eat most fish that a lot of people don't like. Wasn't digging the mackerel, though. That's for sure. My goal is to trick any fish to bite my lure. Once bitten, no more skunk. Well, you still got to pull it in, right? Not just the bite. They make awesome lumpia. Yeah, I need some you Filipinos out there to hook me up with some mackerel lumpia. Yeah. Okay, so we're good. The consensus is no skunk. Catch a fish, although Cass Queen says different. No bait fish. Did I try the Spanish Max? Yeah, I did. I think that day I went out with you. Was it me, you, and Dario? And I caught a bunch of Spanish mackerels and I took them back. Maybe you weren't out there. Actually, I think maybe it was me and Dario. Maybe somebody else. I'm not sure, but yeah, I did catch like 6 Spanish mackerel on the sabiki on the bait fish, and then I took them back. They were pretty good. They weren't great. I don't think they were as great as you guys are hyping them up to be, but I'm just saying.
They weren't my favorite.
Wharf TV. Jack mackerel, awesome in the pan. They were okay. Jessica said they weren't her favorite. I think they were good. I'd eat them again. I mean, if somebody served them, I think they were fine, but I don't think they were great. Don't tell Dario that. He says they're like the greatest fish on planet Earth. they were good. I don't know if I'd go through the trouble. Like, you know, the bones, you got to descale them. You got to gut them, and they're tiny. Cut their heads off. Then you got to get the scales off. And then when you eat them, they got like tiny little bones you got to watch out for. It's a lot of work for not a lot of meat. So sometimes it's nice to just fillet a big fat fish and you don't have to worry about anything. Awesome in tuna salad and fish dip. I can see that for sure. That'd probably be the bomb, Coach. I made we had I had ahi tuna collars and I smoked them and we had some left over. Dude, I made tuna salad with the ahi tuna collars that I smoked, and they made tuna salad with the leftovers. That was legit. I mean, you guys want to talk about gourmet? It was like freaking ridiculous. That was the best tuna salad I think I ever had. I mean, how can it not be, right? Smoked ahi collar. I don't do any of the scaling or anything. Make your wife do it. Scale these fish. Or do you just eat them with the scales on? And the heads and everything. You just go hardcore. I'm open to tips, man. Anything that's less. So let's see here. If you guys have any questions or anything, let me know. Or if you want to talk about something else, not a big deal. We'll change gears. We got the no skunk. So coming up on, we've got the pickle run, what we're calling it. It's set up by the Mad Max. Roman talked about it on Fishy Hour. So we're going to do, it's like a partner thing. What we're going to do is launch. We're going to park, meet the kayaks, leave the kayaks at Shelter Bay or Shelter Island, and we're going to drive up with the loaded kayaks up to Dana Landing, Mission Bay. We're going to go all the way down. It's called the Pickle because we're going south, fish the Point Loma kelp, then go back to Shelter Island, load up the partners' kayaks, take them back to Dana Landing up in Mission, and then depart from there. So it's like, normally we go out and fish an area, but this time we're going to drift down. So we're going to start one point, drift all the way down. Should be fun. I can't fit 2 kayaks in my boat. Roman and Zach said they're gonna hook me up, fit me in there, so that'll be awesome. Eric, let's see here. I think I had some questions about that. Bear with me, guys. Sort of wrote this down. So I had a message from some guy named Spotty Bull. He wanted to know, he was just wondering what we should troll, how big of a lure should it be different. He says the slow pitch sides are 60 grams, is this heaviest, so I know I need to get heavier ones, etc. He doesn't plan on using any live bait. Yeah, I don't think I plan on using any live bait, but to be honest, Eric, I don't. I think you're good with the 60 grams. I've never done the pickle run. I was looking at it today on my app, looking at all the depths. It doesn't look like it's any deeper than really 60 feet. Even a mile out, even if we go a mile west, it's not going to be any deeper than 60 feet. And then if we're going to fish the kelp doesn't grow that deep anyway, so it's going to be pretty shallow. I don't foresee you needing anything heavier than 60 unless we decide to keep going like way west, like into deeper water. But even then, we're maybe only going to probably hit 150 feet because, like I said, even a mile out, we're still only at 60 feet of water. Like it's a ways out to get into that 200-foot zone, and I don't think that was the plan. It sounded like La Jolla kelp was the plan. And then if we're gonna do, if we're gonna hit the kelp, we don't have to worry about that either because kelp just doesn't grow. It needs the sunlight, so it doesn't grow that deep. Yeah, like Salty's saying, it should be on 100 feet. So I think your 60s are good. As far as like trolling lures, honestly, if you want to do like a deep diver, this one I use out in La Jolla a lot. This one gets bit. This is a Rapala X-Wrap. This is a 15-foot diver. A lot of people get the like a Nomad DTX works good too. And you got, I get bit on this one as well. This is the Hydro Minnow Yozuri. This one's fairly cheap. I mean, you can get these at like Turner. I think even Walmart has that. It's a little bit of a longer lure. This one will go on the top. See that little beak? This one deep dives 15 feet. Both these will get bit. Probably calicos come up to get these. I've gotten calicos on both these lures, and I think honestly, like one of the best ones is just a straight up Lucky Craft. Barracuda freaking destroy these things. Calicos will destroy these things. This one I just had a little modification. I did I think it's a VMC hook with like a little willow blade in the back. Just adds a little flash. You probably don't need the metal hook either. You can put single hooks on, but this thing gets crushed. I got 3 just trolling this early September when I went to that bait barge in that video. I think I caught 3 barracuda on this thing in, I don't know, like 15 minutes or something like that. So they blow up on this. And like that day, I was catching like all those barracuda, like when the seal, my infamous seal day when I got attacked by the seal, they were all on the Lucky Craft. So you probably don't need the Lucky Craft. I coached when we went out to Mission Bay, and you were telling me there was you had some alternative to the Lucky Craft. I don't know what it was, but there was a cheaper version. These things are like $20. So Lucky Craft are expensive for what they are, but they do get bit. And I know probably any generic one, but just that smaller form factor stays relatively close to the water. So something like that. So yeah, the SB Minnow, Nomad DTX, like Salty said, the Rapala X-Wrap. So if you're looking to, bring a croc, definitely crocodile lures. And just get those at Walmart, man. That's like the cheapest place. They usually always got them in stock. Crocodiles kill. Barracuda, calicos, yeah, they crush those things. Yeah, the Corvina do too. So I recommend Lucky Craft. One of those. They're pretty awesome. The only thing I would say you might want to bring is, if we're going to get into sheep's head, maybe you could do some shrimp. You know, you don't need to do the live bait, but I would definitely probably just go get some, at minimum, like some frozen shrimp if you don't want to get the fresh stuff at one of the Asian markets. Just maybe bring some. Because that'll really help your sheepshead game. If you want to get sheepshead, I mean they'll bite that. Just throw it on a drop shot with a couple hooks. I saw somebody catch a sheepshead actually on a lure, like a little slow pitch lure, so that they can get caught. I've seen them caught on anchovies and stuff like that, but I think shrimp and shellfish is probably your best bet. If you're not interested in fishing sheepshead at all, I mean, don't worry about it, but they're fun fish and they taste good. They kind of taste lobstery because they eat shellfish and shrimp and stuff all the time. So something to keep in mind. So I would definitely make sure you've got something to troll like that, just like a stick bait. Again, it doesn't have to be that specific. Pretty much anyone will work. Crocodile lure for sure, and then your array of slow pitch jigs if that's what you want to fish. I think you're fine on the 60 gram. If you've got like anywhere between probably 30 to 60, I think you're gold. Most of your base stuff will work out there. It's not like like a huge differential. If you're not like targeting the yellowtail and like white sea bass and stuff like that, which I don't think we're going to get into, like you would target at La Jolla, most of your base stuff will actually work. You got sheepshead on the Gulf sandworm. Dude, I've seen sheepshead, getting taken on a lot of stuff. Squid, I've seen them taken on. The anchovy, obviously. I've seen them taken on jigs, even shrimp. So the consensus is like they eat shellfish, right? Shrimp, clams, mussels, crabs, anything like that. That's why they got those gnarly teeth, but they'll eat anything. They will for sure. But it might not be bad if it's your best. If you want your best shot at the sheepshead, I think about doing some sort of shellfish. Think I'm all set then. Yeah, I think you're good. Your base stuff should be good. I don't think you need anything ridiculous. Have you done the pickle run before, Salty? And are you going with this? They do like strip bait like mackerel too, but shrimp is key. Yeah, that too. If just catching a mackerel, dude, cut mackerel is freaking money. I kill so many like rockfish and stuff on that. I'll catch one and I'll do a dropper loop. I like to use circle hooks. I'll do a dropper loop with 2 circle hooks on it, and I'll catch a mackerel and I kind of cut the mackerel down and then I'll shave it on the fillet and just do it so like the skin's facing outwards and just do a chunk, and I get crushed on that, man. Pretty much anything will eat that mackerel. Is crazy. No, if you don't know. Oh yeah, your son has soccer. It's tough, man. The kids are fishing, right? Just be like, sorry, son. Maybe next time. Is it just like a season, or is he doing like the year-long thing? Or are you gonna have to be out for a little while? Gotta do what you gotta do, man. Gotta be a dad first. Cut mac is just hard to keep on a hook. Yeah, I think if you go through the skin twice, it's not too bad. Like you kind of pinch it, like you go through and then you turn it and you go again. And you got to make sure you're getting through the skin. I don't have such a hard time with it, but yeah, it's kind of soft. Jesse, I know what you mean. It's not like super tough. It gets robbed for sure. That's the problem with live bait. It gets whitefish pick it off because their mouth's not big enough for the hook a lot of times, so they'll take it. Sand dabs will pick at it too, and then you go to reel in and you got a bare hook and you're like, dude, I don't know how long this hook's been. How long have I been down here just fishing bare hooks? Fresh max it. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you're right, Coach. Just the frozen stuff, that's garbage. It's like the second it thaws out, it just disintegrates in your hands. But yeah, the fresh stuff, I agree. I haven't had too much of a problem with. It seems to be pretty good. And that gets bit, man. I think that cut mackerel it's money. Party pack cut mac for squid to hold it on the hook. Yeah, Brian, hell yeah. So I'm talking about giving that seafood buffet. Put on a little shrimp, little squid, little mackerel. Yeah, but that is a thing too. Backing it with something that like holds better, for sure. I heard there's an area near the PT, off the PT. There's an area near the point, off of Point Loma, that is a no-fish zone. How do you find out where that is? Fish Legal. Yeah, there's an MPA there too. For those of you guys that don't know, there's an app you can get, the Fish Legal app. You just get it on my phone. I have Android. I don't know if they make an Apple version. Basically, you bring it up and it'll show you a GPS, like where you are on the map, and it'll show you where the MPA is. So it's really helpful too when you're like out in La Jolla or anywhere, and it'll also tell you what it's one of those blue MPAs too. So I'll have to check and see if it's like completely locked down or if there is some fishing allowed. I'll double check. Yeah, salty fish legal on the phone app, and it'll tell you what you can fish or not fish for too. Yeah, oh, you guys are on board the fish legal app. And it's cool because it gives you your GPS too, like I said. So when you're on the map, you can look at it and see like if you're in the zone or not. It's pretty cool. There is an Apple version, Cal says. Yeah. So look into that, guys, if you're doing kayak fishing in La Jolla or anywhere like that. We'll find it though. Zach, you can also just look up on the government site, like the MPA. Just type in like California MPA, and it'll show you like a whole map zone. And I have a map too. Somebody gave me like one of those events we went to. I think it was that tournament we did last year with the CCA on the water, and they handed out some prizes, and or not that like those grab bags, and there was like one of them had an MPA map in it, which was pretty cool. I was just looking at it the other day, and I was like, oh, that's helpful. And it also had the those was it the one cool tuna stickers too. And we were talking, they had did the interview with the founder and the owner of it yesterday on the Fishy Hour, Bay Fishing with Roman and Brian, and I still have some of those stickers he was talking about. I was like, oh yeah, dude, I remember that, those real stickers. That's pretty cool. Oh, some of the fish finders with Navtronics will show the no fish zones too. That's cool, Brian. I've got that on my fish finder, but it doesn't show me the zones. I don't have that nice of a one. Not on my kayak. Don't forget to zoom in as close as possible. You get better detail. Yeah. Also, like what Brian was saying, the Navtronics, what I recommend is getting that for your phone, guys. It's like the boating app, and I think I had to pay for it. I don't think it was overly expensive though, but it shows you like all of like the surface bottom. So if you don't have like a real high-end fish finder, and you can mark points on it too, and then you can go back to them. And it's basically like a navigation on your phone. But the best part is you can zoom in and it shows you the whole bottom structure. What do they call that? The topography of the whole bottom. You can see like rock piles. There's relief shading, so you can see the changes and the depths. And that's GPS too. So it locks on your position. It tells you which way you're going, how many knots you're going, but how deep it is. And you can mark locations on that too. So a lot of times with my fish finder, if I'm in a zone of like if I'm out in La Jolla, for example, and instead of roaming just kind of aimlessly everywhere, I pull up the Navionics boating app on my phone, and I'll zoom in and I'll look for the actual structure. I'll see where I'm at, and I'll be like, okay, if I go north, and then I just leave it open, and I just paddle on my kayak looking at my phone, and it'll take me to the spot. I zoom in, and then once I find that rock pile or whatever, and I'm right over it on the thing, like it'll tell you the depth. It'll be like 22 feet, 30 feet, and then so you're like, oh, I know I'm over the pile. They just went up 10 feet. Then I just mark it on my, then I find it on, I see it on my fish finder. So I'm like, okay, this is the spot. It's like a cross reference. And then I see it on my fish finder. I'm like, okay, I'm over the spot. Then I mark it there, and then you have the mark. But it's a great way to see a quick overview. You know, when your fish finder, you're having to look. It's like, okay, there's a spot. Okay, there's a spot. Sometimes you just paddle aimlessly. But if you get that boating app, Navionics boating app, you can get a big overview, and then it gives you, it's like a map, so you know where to go if like you're like looking for new ground and stuff without having to scan and look on, you know, on the fish finders we have under. Most of us don't have super advanced fish finders on our kayaks, so that's just a little tip I've been using. Just get a quick overview, find a spot quick, and then just go to it and check it out. And then once you're in that general area, use your fish finder then to do the fine search and look for like the layers and level changes and stuff in the fish finder. So hopefully that tip works out for you guys, but I think that works for me for sure. I don't know if it's a yearly subscription or if it was like a one-time thing, but if you have a fish finder that has the Navionics and stuff, which mine does, but it's not like Wi-Fi connected, but you can, so if you've got the Wi-Fi and stuff, what you do on the handheld app, like it talks to your fish finder if you've got the Wi-Fi, or like when I upload my fish finder in with like the the card in the computer, like it'll update that way too. So a lot of the marks that I have, it'll put them on after I've like uploaded it or updated it on my computer. So check it out, guys. I think it'll help you out big time. Dave Rage, what's up, guys? Had to do some late night work from home. Sorry, dude, missed out. Just kidding. So Dave, you're going out. Hopefully you have better luck than I've had. Navionics is $15 a year is what Cal's saying. Do you use that app too? Yeah, Dave, I was talking about my failures and disappointments out there offshore this last couple weeks. It's been pretty rough. Well, my first trip wasn't bad. Thursday actually wasn't so bad. But yeah, Tuesday was harsh. It was a rough trip. Hopefully you guys do better. I think you're going with them, right, Cal? And what's funny, funny story is we've got this new guy that started at jiu-jitsu, and his name's Ronnie, and we were talking. He's like an older gentleman, which is cool. I like seeing them start, and he's a white belt, and he's like, dude, I'm just so sore. I'm sore everywhere. And he's coming in like 3 or 4 days a week, and we're talking, and he's a commercial fisherman. So we're like best friends now. And he's like, oh, he's telling me all these stories. And he came back to me. We were training Wednesday, and he was like, oh, I got some tips for you. And he was telling me Tanner Banks where it's at, so I'm like, yeah, dude, that's so far. So really deep is good. Still those 2 days, the day and a half, 2-day boats still seem to be doing okay. I wouldn't do offshore on a day trip. I mean, not right now. They're just not producing. It seems like you got to go down to like Guadalupe or, Tanner. You got to go way deep to where the fish are really blowing up. It's in a few weeks. And what are you doing, like a multiple day or a single day? If you're doing like an overnight, I think you'll be good. They still seem to be getting on them. All I've done is the all days though this year, and that's what's been rough. You just can't get deep enough. The water's been so finicky, But this time, last year doesn't seem like the yellowfin ever really came up, or the Dorado either. At least not as close as they have it, in past years. Overnight on the 8th, you'll probably be good. And then the bluefin have been around like freaking all year, which is crazy, right? Like usually they're out of here. Late June, they're gone, and they're still here. I mean, we were getting them as close, down at the islands and stuff. So Tanner's, I guess, got the tons of bluefin too. Hopefully you guys get on them. I think you will. You seem to do well. I think if you got any bluefin tips, you need to pass them along. Like I said, they've been mocking me all day. Yeah, morning returns. So it looks like we got the Grande 1.5 day 60 bluefin, 2 yellowtail. The Legend did a day and a half. They got 51 bluefin. Constitution day and a half, 56 bluefin tuna, 1 yellowfin. So that was for today. So it looks like those day and a halves are still producing. Bluefin is the story, man. Freaking bluefin is the story. I'm not seeing any yellowfin in the reports. No dodos. Crazy. So if you guys want bluefin, I mean, now is the time to get out there. Go get offshore. You're gonna have to do probably a day and a half trip, but you can still get them for sure. I think the graded tuna's gone up too. I think the big ones are coming back. I mean, I'm still seeing like 100-pounders, 200-pounders coming in on those offshore trips. Just be prepared. Be prepared. Yeah, you're going with him, right, Cal? Yeah, dude, that'll be fun. I think you guys will get on it. I have faith. Might finish the season with a 1.5 on the 28th. Yeah, is there still spots open with that? I mean,
We just looked now.
oh, Jessica just looked. I was about to hop on that one with you. Yeah, those things book up quick.
There's one the day before and one the day after.
There's one the day before and one the day after. So if you haven't booked yet, well, let me know which one you're going on. So I'd like to get on a day and a half. I'm at the point now where it's like I'm so committed to getting a bluefin. I've seen so many. I've caught like everything else this year. I just cannot get on those bluefin. I want to beat one of its asses so bad. H&M Landing, multiple days. Well, yeah, there's like Point Loma, Fisherman's Landing. There's a few out there we can get on. Oh, not the 28th, the 18th.
You're going the 18th or the 8th?
Well, he's going the 8th, but I think you're going to go the 18th again, right? The 8th and then maybe the 18th. I'll have to check, man. I'd love to get on one of those. Go get some bluefin. Yeah, guys, if you have any more questions, let me know. I got the got some submission fishing hats in.
Here.
Got some little patches too. So if you want some patches or hats, get them on the website. I think they're live, right? Yeah, so they're up. If you guys want hats or anything, feel free to get them on. We got some other stuff in the works too. So got some exciting stuff coming up in the as far as products go. So we'll have more on that later. But I'm pretty excited what we got coming along. Thank you, Leonard. Cave Dog, thanks. Yeah, man. So if you guys want to support the stream at all, you know, you get some hats, get some fish frosting. We got some more stuff coming. Like I said, we're just trying to get this thing off the ground. And yeah, if you guys have any more questions, let me know. I mean, if not, we'll see you guys out there. So I don't think I'm going to fish this weekend. I was maybe going to go out on a boat, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So I'll have to see what happens with that. And if I don't, I'll be out in the desert for my niece's birthday. So I don't think I'll fish. And then probably the next time, yeah, it'll be the pickle run. So if you guys want to check that out, look up Fishy Hour. Go to Mad Max Discord, but I don't have the link to that. I think you got to go to fishyhour.com or look up Roman Castro. Hit him up on YouTube or Fishy Hour on YouTube. You can either go to the website or something. See if you guys can get the link to the Discord, and then you can sign up if you're already in the group. You're already in the crew. That's going on. So pick a partner to take you to Shelter Island and then back. So I think that'll be a fun trip. I haven't done it before, so I'm looking forward to it. It's a long paddle. I think it's like 12 miles or something like that. But it's only one way, which is nice. You know, we don't got to go one way and go back. So we're just gonna make one loop, like hit the Point Loma kelp beds. And I haven't done that on a kayak, so I mean that's exciting. I like doing out new things and going trying new places. I think it'll be fun stuff. I think Eric's going, Zach's going, I'm going, Roman's going for sure. If you guys have any questions, hit up Roman, or you can ask me. I don't really have all the details, but I kind of get it. I'm just one of the guys going. But I get the gist of kind of what's going on. I think it'll be good stuff. Hopefully we get on some sheep's head and stuff. Yeah, if you guys have any more questions, coming up on the hour, it was great talking to you guys. It's been a long week. I was gone. I got a new video out today. Go check that out. Yeah, I didn't even talk about that. Dude, I went to the bait barge, and I mean, I beat these sand basses' asses like hardcore. I devastated that place. I think I caught 12, a dozen or more legal sand bass, like huge sand bass, probably within an hour and a half or so. Slow pitch jigging. Like every time I went down, I was just pulling up these absolute monsters. Broke off a few times on big fish. Pulled up a bunch of huge fish. Doubled up on like a sand bass and a calico, both legals. But yeah, it was pretty cool. There's some two dudes like fishing next to me, and one of them was like, he asked me if I kept pulling up. He's like, "Oh, is that the same fish?" Like he thought I was pulling up the same fish. I'm like, I think they were using live bait. I don't think they were getting bit on anything, man. But those freaking jigs were just popping off. It was pretty badass. So if you guys want to check that out, it's probably best bait barge day I've had. It was like just legal after legal after legal. Everything was like 14 inches, 15 inches, just big fat toad fish. It was a fun day for sure. So go check that out. And yeah, it was nice having you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. If you have any questions, leave it. If you're not watching the show live, if you're watching the replay on YouTube, like I said, if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to hit me up. Submissionfishing.com. If you guys want to help support the stream, shirts, hats. We got the fish frosting. If you guys want to get bit on your soft plastics, said you can use some of this stuff. Yeah, and if you have any questions for me, I'm more than happy to answer them. Like I said, I'm not a master. I'm just trying to work my way up like a lot of these guys. I don't have the answers for everything. I'm definitely not a professional, but if you need some slow pitch jig tips, I could probably help you there. But a lot of other stuff, it's hit or miss. But I'll tell you what I know. At least try to get you guys bit. And yeah, I'll see you guys out there on the water. And see you next time, guys. Oos.